Hi, thank you for joining us this morning for another devotional series. We've been going through the Sermon on the Mount, and we're looking at Jesus's teaching in Matthew chapter 6, where he tells us not to worry, not to be anxious, not to try and worry about our future, but rather to worry or concern ourselves with the things that we need to concern ourselves with today. Each day has enough trouble of its own. So we need to trust God today for his provision. But I want to highlight the passage. This is 6:25 through 34. I read it on Friday, so I'm going to paraphrase today. But Jesus basically points out to the hearers on the Sermon on the Mount here that they're not to worry about what they're to eat or what they're to drink or what they're to wear. For the Gentiles or the pagans or the non-believers worry about these things. So it's not to make light or criticize non-Jews, but it's to say that the Jewish way, the godly way, the covenantal way of thinking is to trust God for provision. And the non-godly way, or the way the Gentiles think about it, is they worry about all those things. So he's trying to say, look, we're different. And ultimately, Christ here is a Jew teaching to Jews, but he's coming to bring the new covenant. So even furthering and fulfilling this teaching. But I want to read for us now on what Dietrich Bonhoeffer says of this. And he says, to misuse our possessions is to use them as an insurance against the morrow, or tomorrow, older phrase here. Anxiety is always directed toward the morrow, or the future, whereas goods are, in the strictest sense, meant to be used only for today. By trying to ensure for the next day, we are only creating uncertainty today. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. The only way to win assurance is by leaving tomorrow entirely in the hands of God and receiving from him all that we need for today. If instead of receiving God's gifts for today, we worry about tomorrow, we find ourselves helpless victims of infinite anxiety. Quote, be not anxious for tomorrow. Either that is cruel mockery for the poor and wretched, the very people Jesus is talking to, who, humanly speaking, really will starve if they don't make provision today. Either it is an intolerable law which men will reject with indignation, or it is the unique proclamation of the gospel of the glorious liberty of the children of God, who have a Father in heaven, a Father who has given his beloved Son. How shall not God with him also freely give us all things? We have to remember, in Christ, we've already been given all things. Our job is to recognize that, trust in God for today, and let tomorrow worry about itself. Have a blessed day. We'll see you tomorrow.